Private investigator Philip Marlowe is approached about a job by ex-policewoman Kathy Horn. The Leander pearls disappeared almost 2 decades ago in a heist that turned deadly. Wally Sipe, the last surviving member of the crew that did the job, got a pardon and disappeared without ever confessing where the pearls were hidden. Now, the newest person renting a room in Kathy's boarding house is a drug addict who knows a guy who thinks they know where Wally Sipe is living. Recovering the Leander pearls for the insurance company is a job worth $25,000, which goes a long way in the 1930s. To Marlowe, this all sounds like a fairy tale, but Kathy is a friend who is struggling, and frankly, he could use a payday too. What he quickly discovers, however, is that other, less scrupulous people are also on the hunt for the Leander pearls, including the murderous Carol Donovan. Marlowe is then in a race to the area around Puget Sound in Washington State to locate Wally Sipe, whether he has the pearls or not, before crooked lawyers, thieves, and killers can find him first. The Wasted Weekend is a reading event created by Criminali to encourage the reading of fiction that is normally considered disposable trash. I will have a link in the description to his channel so you can see what he and other people read for this event. You can also take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel of another YouTube creator you enjoy, or the algorithm will burn the soles of their feet. You may be asking, isn't Raymond Chandler a respected American author? How does he fit into the Wasted Weekend? That is sort of the point. Not that long ago, all hard-boiled fiction, including works by Raymond Chandler and Dashiell Hammett, were considered trash. Published in pulp magazines like Black Mask, where Goldfish was first printed, these authors and their stories were considered sensationalist, deviant garbage, unfit for real readers, whoever they were. Not until decades later were his works reappraised, and now you can get Raymond Chandler's stories in volumes from the Library of America, just like Steinbeck, Hemingway, and Chopin. What constitutes trash reading is liable to change over time, and I think it's worth remembering that. Goldfish is plot-driven, like many of Chandler's short stories, whereas in his novels, the plot starts the story before the book shifts more toward character and atmosphere, the way a lot of noir does. Still, character is important here as it shows us how far some of them are willing to go to get the Leander pearls. Precise and revealing with his language, as he often is, Chandler gives us just enough detail about the characters so we understand them, but he leaves plenty of room to let our imagination fill in the rest. This means the story is always in motion, and we understand what is at risk as these characters push toward their goals. An interesting dynamic in the story is the relationship between gender and violence. For good and for ill, many of the women in this story exert their own agency, and many of the most violent deeds are committed by women. Carol Donovan is a significant driver of the story's action, and there is a case to be made that while undoubtedly villainous, she could be seen as the protagonist. She solves problems and makes choices that push the plot, so much so that during some sections it reads like Marlowe is playing catch-up. This gives Goldfish its own texture, deviating from the conventions of the femme fatale seen in Hardboiled and Noir stories. There is also the question of morality. To one degree or another, most of the characters are motivated by the money to be gained from the Leander pearls. A question this story posits is, what are they willing to do to get it? For characters like Carol and Sunset, intimidation, violence, and killing are all viable options. But so is negotiation. Rush Matter, I think, is blinded by his greed, and by the time he realizes how deep he's in, he doesn't know how to get out except to keep going through. There's something pathetic about him. It is Marlowe, avoiding violence when possible and warning everyone about how bad this situation could get, who deals fairly, even when he knows people are trying to cheat him. He's not a sucker, nor squeamish, as the climax of the story showcases. Marlowe does hold himself accountable to an internal moral standard, and he always keeps in mind that he's working for someone else. It's also worth noting that Chandler changed several aspects of this story between its initial printing in Black Mask magazine and later publications. But what do you, the audience at home, think? Are you familiar with Raymond Chandler's short stories? Are you glad that he and other pulp writers from the early 20th century are getting the recognition their talents deserve? What did you read for the wasted weekend? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my peculiar notions. If you appreciate this channel and want to support it, you know what to do. Until next time, read some good trash that might not be trash at all. Live and be well.